Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Anime Review Show, or ARS, episode 42.5. I'm Dion.
And I'm Chris.
And, well, no one knows what we're doing this week, so I shall discuss the formats, and then we'll hop straight onto the list, and I don't think there'll be timestamps for this one, because, well, it's a top list, so this should certainly be interesting. As you all know, we have covered 42 episodes on the Anime Review Show, and now we've decided we're going to take all the anime we have currently watched for the Anime Review Show only, not including ones that we've watched outside of it, and compile them into a top anime list. There are currently 22 seasons of anime we have watched for the Anime Review Show. Quite a surprising amount, to say the least. I remember making the list and I was like, have we really watched this? But Jesus.
Watched a lot of anime. This will also help to serve as like, if anyone... We don't have to point all the way back to our old shitty episodes when someone says, "What do you think of an anime?" We can say it's in this video.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. I like your thinking, Chris. I don't have to go. We don't have to be like, oh please. I can be like, please don't watch the old ones. Just look at this top list.
Yeah.
Oh wow. I can't even remember when we changed up to the new format, but the old format was painful.
I remember trying to listen to it was called the Anime Review Show then. It was written in full, #1, and I was like, that must have been when I was between mics. I was between Turtle Beach and this mic, and I was
using episode 1 was your awful mic.
I was using my headset mic, which, good lord, it's painful to listen to.
Yes, it is. Oh, it is. But yes, so we're going to both simultaneously go through our lists from 22nd to first place. We'll assign points accordingly, so obviously last place has 1 point, first place has 22 points, and then in the end we'll compile the points, turn that into our top list, and that'll be the Blunt Lemon's top anime list so far.
It's become quite the standard format for lists for us now.
It is. It's a good format, and usually the results actually quite well represent what the Lemons think of something like. I'm still very impressed with our top games of 2016 list.
Well, it was our favourite games of all time, but the 2016 edition, I'm sure we'll have a brand new edition soon.
Yeah, because Persona was not out then. But alright, so without further ado, let's just hop straight into it, because there isn't really much else to say on the format. Actually no, there is one more thing. Obviously, spoiler warning, because we'll be discussing anime we have watched, so we most likely will dip into details on that anime from time to time, so if you... I might do a fancy spoiler warning thing on the screen, but if not, just be wary if you don't want spoilers for these anime. After all, we have to discuss the reasons that we either like or hate them, so...
To be honest, there's a fair few hates. And by fair few, I mean a few.
Yeah. So, without further ado, I get the feeling the bottom and tops of our lists will be very similar. Definitely the bottom.
Yeah, the bottom's probably going to be identical, but...
Okie dokie. Right, okay, so, starting off, in 22nd place, we'll alternate who goes first each time, but I'll go first this time. On the bottom of my list, I have Elegant Yokai Apartment Life.
We're different already.
Oh, wow. What have you got on the bottom?
Persona 4, The Golden Animation.
Ah, that's next on my list.
Well, next on my list is Elegant Yokai Apartment Life, so...
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's 22nd and 21st. Oh, alright. I'm curious, why... Well, actually, no, I think I know why, but go ahead and say why Persona 4 is on the bottom of your list.
It made me doubt that I ever played the game at all. I was there watching, I was like, what is happening? Did this happen in the game? Are they changing it? Turns out, I've softened my stance slightly on Persona 4 The Golden Animation. I still don't think it's a good show. It's not a good show, but it's my least favourite show. I've softened my stance. I understand what it was trying to go for. It was like, hey, these are your favourite bits of the game, but now they're animated and slightly different, but it broke my brain. And it was really confusing and made for a bad watching experience. And made me physically angry when I was watching it, so that's why it's bottom of my list.
Yeah, I can kind of understand that viewpoint, because I was thinking it might be on the bottom of yours due to the fact that you'd actually played the game. Whereas for me, as someone who hadn't played the game, or any Persona game so far at that point, I was just kind of like, well, to quote me from way back when, I thought I was high while watching it. I was like, what the fuck is going on? So I definitely didn't have as much of a hatred for it. After playing Persona 5, I can definitely understand a bit more your hatred towards it back then. Slash now.
I get what I get what they're going for. It's just really not for me.
But as for the reason why Elegant Yokai is on the bottom of my list as opposed to Persona 4, again, Persona 4 I had slightly less of a hatred for, not having really played Persona 4 itself. And also, at least while watching it, I felt something. Whereas with Elegant Yokai Apartment Life, I felt two things. One was nothing. The other one was just pure hatred.
It was the world's most boring show. How could they turn... Right, the concept is a high school student moves into an apartment with a load of kooky wacky ghosts. Oh, the hijinks will get up to... Well, it turns out he doesn't get up to any hijinks. It's basically just a dude going to high school.
Oh my god, it is so fucking dull, and especially it's the fact that it's so many times in the brief time that we had it on the show, because we stopped watching it early. There's no way we could have finished it. Same with Persona 4. But no, it tried to have like some dramatic, like heart-wrenching moments where it was just like, oh, and now I have to say goodbye to the yokai apartment life after 6 months of living here, and we're just like, we've seen you live there for 2 days. Where did the 6 months go?
You see, it was so boring as shit living there. They were like, we can't put this to screen. It's so boring.
And then there was that point with like, I felt something with this one, but I still thought it was definitely unearned. Where it was like his cousin was like apologizing for being a dick to him this whole time, and you know it's supposed to be this heart-wrenching moment. I'm just like, I don't care. I don't like you, either of you.
It's roughly at that point I was like, did she ever say a word in the show before? Because I'd forgotten. I'd forgotten if she'd said anything ever.
Pretty sure she hadn't. So, yeah, that is the reason why it's last on my list. Whereas, how come... Well, I think I know why. It's probably already been stated. How come it ranked just that little bit higher than Persona for you?
It was coherent. I could tell what was going on. In Persona, it's like, there's no discerning a story in the Persona 4 The Golden Animation. And to be fair, that's not what they're going for. It just makes a bad show. It was a bad idea to begin with. But at least Elegant Yokai Apartment Life was... to be honest, either one could be on the bottom of my list. It's just I picked the one that was the least coherent as my least favourite. Whereas Elegant Yokai Apartment Life, I think it was the last episode we watched, where he's been away from the yokai apartment, and he finds one of the yokai who looks like a normal dude, and I was like, who's this guy? And they say something that's meant to really touch your heart, and I was like, please finish talking so I can close this tab. That's why it was. I just didn't care.
Oh god damn! Right, let's swiftly move on so that we can get all the bad anime out the way, because I'm having like PTSD flashbacks. I don't want to. I want to forget these shows. But yes, so that is 22nd and 21st place for both our lists. On mine, it's Elegant Yokai, then Persona 4, and for Chris, it is the other way round, Persona 4, then Elegant Yokai. So, Krishna, what do you have in 20th place?
In number 20, I don't think my eardrums have yet recovered from the terribleness that was Black Clover.
Hey, we actually agree for the first time. Black Clover is also 20th on my list. Go ahead, Chris, take it away.
Talk of a show where nothing ever happens. Nothing ever happened. Ever. Not one episode of this show that we watched, and to be fair, we didn't get through it, so if it gets good later, I'm sorry, Black Clover fans, but it did not have a good first 12 episode, like... Was it 12? I can't even remember how many fucking episodes we watched this.
I think it was 12 episode. I'll quickly check. You go on.
It did not have a good introduction. We've got lots of problems here. We've got a story that is going nowhere. Nothing happens. Combined with characters that I actually physically hate.
We got up to episode 10. 10 would have been the next one.
Okay, so I said I was going to go and watch the next episode. Never did. Couldn't bring myself to do that.
The only reason you even said that was because finally something action-packed looked like it was about to happen. It looked like it had the potential of being cool, but at the same time it was like, I hate this show. I hate the characters. I do not have anywhere near enough attachment or investment to go back to this, even though what's coming next looks a little bit cool.
The show also looked cheap. When I was when the battle scenes happened, even when it was starting to get cool in that last one, it was like a slideshow of them doing stuff. I seem to remember.
Yeah. The coolest battle was during the training. Not the training, the examinations between like that water mage and the mud monster. That was the coolest battle I've seen in this so far.
Yeah, the only time they ever did battle, it was like a slideshow, and then we quit. So. Yeah.
But let's address the main issue here. The main character, fucking Asta. Oh my god, my ears.
Who thought it was a good idea to have a main character who's both useless but also extremely unlikable? And then cast a voice actor who has a voice like I can't even describe it.
Like,
I can't.
Who during casting thought that voice was a good idea? Like, my god, my ears are still. I'm having PTSD again, except this time it's not visual flashbacks, it's audio. Just thinking about his voice. Like, you said it was more bearable in the dub, didn't you, at least?
It was, but I wasn't watching. To watch the dub, I would have had to. I would have wanted to start again, but we were on like episode 7 by that point, and I was like, I'm not watching this show again.
Oh Christ. Okay.
The reason it's above Elegant Yokai Apartment Life, both the shows where nothing happens, at least in this one there was magic and monsters.
Yeah.
Like, occasionally, like, there was one battle that I was like, that looked kind of cool. Not high praise.
This show caused me physical pain, but at least, unlike Elegant Yokai, it made me feel something, and I didn't hate... Because they weren't skipping over stuff and trying to get us emotional. And with Persona... Persona, like I said, I felt high, whereas with Black Clover, I was just watching it and I was either meh or just like,
Persona 4 was a confusing, incoherent mess, in my opinion.
Yeah, whereas this at least had a story it was going for.
Yeah, at least I could discern what was going on, and that was precisely nothing most of the time. And we had wasn't one episode where he was just cleaning the castle and shouting about it the entire time.
I'm trying to remember. There was a very pointless episode where it was basically, I think it is this episode that you were referring to, where he starts off like cleaning the castle and stuff, and it's basically an episode which nothing happens, and it leads up to the end of the episode where they're like, right, and now you've got your first mission, and I'm just like, that could have been summed up in a 2-minute conversation of, hey, it starts off with a brief opening montage of him cleaning a castle, his superiors return and go, hey, we need you to go on a mission, and then they could have started the mission. But no, they spent 20 minutes of him, like, cleaning the castle and then watching them get up to gambling hijinks and stuff, and eventually they return in a what's supposed to be comedic fashion with, like, no clothes, and it's just like, what? Why?
It also
doesn't... This is funny.
It also doesn't help the show was just... Every character, outside of Asta and Yuno, who were just annoying, every other character was like a stereotype. We had, like, stuck-up rich girl, drunk big-boobed lady, violent child,
person who eats all the time.
Yeah, they were all anime stereotypes, all of them.
And they didn't have anything else to their personalities to make us like them, because we either didn't spend enough time with them, or just, they were dull.
They were dull stereotypes in a story that was dull and going nowhere. That looked cheap to boot.
And it was trying so hard to be funny a lot. Like, no, you're not funny. I need to like a character for this to be funny.
also, they decided to make their second episode a flashback when we just didn't care in the first place. It was like the end of the first episode. It was like, oh, it's a cliffhanger. We'll ask to be able to defeat this magic knight who's threatening his friend. And then it's like next episode, like, well, don't care about that shit. Let's cut back to when they were 8, and equally useless.
You know the only good thing I could take out of this show. And it's not even a thing about the show, it's just literally their casting of the leader of the Black Knights being a Razorhead from My Hero. It's the only good thing I have on this show.
Yeah,
that made me happy.
I didn't notice at the time. He was just another dude to me.
Plus, you were watching dubbed, weren't you? No, no,
you
watched dubbed My Hero. That's what I meant.
Yes, I watched Dubbed My Hero, so like I wouldn't.
So you wouldn't have noticed.
Well, I watched like 3 episodes of My Hero in Japanese when the schedules became out of sync for us. But anyway, that's beside the point. And also,
I'm sure we'll get to My Hero much later on.
Oh, we were much later on. But also on Black Clover's comedy, every joke they had might have been funny once, but every joke they had, they would have they beat you over the head with it about 5,000 times.
It's like the Asta wanting to marry the what's she called? What's the religious title? I've forgotten.
Nun.
Nun. Yes.
I think she was a nun. Can't remember.
It's like Sister Lily or something.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, first time, okay, kind of funny. Okay, moving on. But no, they do it again and again.
I mean, there was sometimes it would work. Sometimes, like, there was one time when he found some lady's panties and he was like, "No, I cannot look. I'm promised to Sister Lily." And I was like, "That's you got that." But then he'd shout about it a bit more and be like, "Fuck you, fuck you, character. I don't like you.
Please shut up. Just don't make me listen to that voice." I like how both of us at one point just like muted the show and were just like, "Oh my god, I can watch this and not listen to his voice. Thank you, subbed." Right. Okay. We could spend forever dissing on Black Clover, but we should move on. So, Black Clover in 20th place.
It sounds like I'm a lot angrier at Black Clover than Elegant Yokai, Apartment Life, and Persona 4. Black Clover has more to point at and laugh at, whereas Elegant Yokai and Persona 4 were just bad and incoherent most of the time.
They were, yeah, well, Persona 4 for you, I assume, but Elegant Yokai for me was just unfucking bearable. Whereas Black Clover, I could at least try and watch it and hope that it would get good, whereas I'd lost that hope so long ago with Elegant Yokai and Persona. I was just confused. Right. Okay. So, moving on to 19th place. On my list, it's my turn to go first again. I have Samurai Champloo.
Yes, we definitely disagree on this one.
I'm sorry, but I had a burning hatred for Samurai Champloo. Like, my fucking god. This was back when we very first started the anime review show. So, Krishna, what have you got in 19th place?
19th place was a little difficult for me because this is where we started straying into animes that I was like mostly positive on in general. For me, I put Tokyo Ghoul here.
Oh. Okie dokie, Tokyo Ghoul, there you are. Sorry, I'm just deciding the points while doing this as well. Okay, so, why have you got Tokyo Ghoul there?
Tokyo Ghoul started off really strong. It ended fairly strong. There was a middle of the show where I was like, what the fuck is happening? I don't like what's happening. I don't get what's happening. And I just kind of want it to end at that moment in the middle of the show, roughly around the time the camp, like, gourmet dude was, like, doing his thing. I was like,
yeah, the over-eccentric gourmet chef.
Let's just, like, fast forward this bit.
let's just calm down, eh? I'm curious to see, because I've completely forgotten it for some reason. Maybe that's saying something about the season. I'm curious to see when we do the season 2 of Tokyo Ghoul. What our thoughts on that will be.
I remember you saying it was bad, but we'll see.
I remember a lot of people thinking it was bad, but I don't remember my thoughts on it anymore. But yeah, okay. And as for why I've got Samurai Champloo in 19th place, it's simply a case of, again, this was when we were first watching the anime review show, and we did like 24 episodes of anime a week. So there was the added stress of that, I guess, but it was just the case of, I guess just as a style, I hate the I say incoherent, that's not quite the right word, but just like random stories, because usually, at least with a show, even that does a fuck ton of random stories, there seems to be an overarching plot, whereas with Samurai Champloo, it infuriated me throughout the whole show how there was no overarching plot. Like, I just must really hate the style of anime, because it was kind of the same thing for me when the first time I decided to view Cowboy Bebop as well, because that doesn't really have an overarching plot, but that had at least a half-decent sci-fi setting, / I liked the characters, whereas this one, hated it all the way through. I was just like, give me a story! How does any of this connect? What is going on? I don't really like any of you.
I'm more forgiving of Samurai Champloo in that I really enjoyed its action. And its
action was good.
I enjoyed its individual storylines, and when they tied it all together, even though it's kind of loosely tied all together in the last episode, I was like, you know what? Good enough for me.
Oh, I'm probably being too harsh on this anime, but compared to all the other anime on my list, I think they all easily deserve higher spots than Samurai Champloo, at least in my mind. Sorry, Samurai Champloo. But right. Okay. Oh, that was reasonably quick enough. Okay, on to 18th place for our lists then. We have Krishna. Take it away.
In number 18. Have you ever wanted to bang your stepsister? Well, this boy has. And he spends a long time obsessing over it. I got Iramanga Sensei in 18.
Damn. Okie dokie.
I thought long and hard about Iramanga Sensei.
I find this quite a curious choice. I mean, mine's not exactly high up, but it's not here.
Anyway, do you want to do your 18, or should I talk about Iramanga a little bit?
I shall quickly talk about my 18th place. My 18th place is, quite surprisingly, Fastest Finger First.
Spoilers, that's my 17.
Go ahead then, resume with yours about Iramanga.
I thought long and hard where to put Iramanga Sensei, because if I put it anywhere else, I might come off as a paedophile. No. The show has a lot to hate about it, and I'm mainly talking about his sister, Iramanga Sensei, because every time she was on screen, I was like, please, show.
Please go away.
Please stop. This is making me cringe. But ultimately, when it comes down to it, despite all of the hardships it has in becoming a good show, it crafted a fairly entertaining romantic comedy about halfway through, and I was really not expecting it to do that. And the romantic comedy was not him and his sister; it was him
with all the other characters.
It was him and the other girls. Okay.
Oh, I remember both of our reactions to the show. At first, we were both like, "This is weird / a bit creepy," and then it went on. We were just like, "Okay, it's a bit and then by the end of the show, we were both like, okay, this isn't anything amazing, but my god, we actually like it. What have you done to us, show? Have you just lowered our standards or something?"
So at some point, it became a somewhat successful romantic comedy.
It was. I remember thoroughly enjoying it by the end of it, which is why it's got a few places higher on my list compared to yours, at least. But oh goddamn, there's something about a lot of the anime we've watched that have just thoroughly surprised us.
Yes, we tended to stray outside our usual genre restrictions. Our genre preferences, I guess I should say.
Which is a good thing. We wanted to explore different anime, and we have. But okay, going on to my 18th place, why Fastest Finger First is in 18th. There we go. Sorry, I need to write down the points again. But yes, it was an enjoyable show. Liked it all the way through. I don't remember having any dislikes about it, unless you can think of any off the top of your head.
No, there's nothing I disliked about Fastest Finger First.
There was no major dislikes, like I hate this character or I hate this event that happened. It was a reasonably enjoyable show all throughout. It was just a case of... It was kind of... Like, I always enjoyed watching the... I can't actually remember what the competition's called now. Quiz Bowl, that was it. I enjoyed watching the Quiz Bowl, things like that, but unlike the other sports-related anime, Kuroko's Basketball, where the matches seemed a fuck ton more exciting, and I was far more attached to the characters and stuff, and other things that I'll talk about later, far later. But this one, it didn't leave that much of an impression, which... it's not a bad show, it comes to a bit of a overall. I look forward to a season 2 if there is a season 2, and I will probably watch it, but otherwise that's why it's so low on my list.
Fast Finger First and 17th for me. It's a show that is thoroughly pleasant to watch. It's almost the exact opposite of Iramanga for me. Iramanga has some intensely good things and some intensely bad things. Some really intensely bad things. Whereas Fastest Finger First falls quite squarely at all times in the middle. It's never overly good. It's never really bad. It's just in the middle. thoroughly pleasant to watch. That's my review of Fastest Finger First, I guess.
That's fair enough. That covers 17th place for you, and 17th place for me is Tokyo Ghoul. So we weren't too far off each other with that one. Tokyo Ghoul, 6 points. But yeah, again, the reason it ranks higher than Fastest Finger First is, although it did have its eccentric moments, main difference between me and you was that maybe it's because I watched it before, but I was kind of more okay with the eccentricness, but maybe that's just because I was expecting it. But also, I much prefer because like you, I much prefer the premise. It is a reasonably awesome premise, Tokyo Ghoul, its setting, and plus its beginning and ending were really good, and at least left more of an impression on me than Fastest Finger First did, so that's why it's above it on my list.
It's not that I dislike wacky over-the-top premises, because we're going to get to some wacky over-the-top premises later on.
Yeah,
I absolutely
but it doesn't really fit with what was here.
It was what they set up was super grounded, like race wars, basically. And then halfway through, it was like, okay, and now here's the Joker. And he's crazy! He's doing crazy things! And there's a whole crazy group of people. Okay. It didn't fit with what you were doing before, but okay.
Yeah. No, I can certainly understand your dislike of it. And again, maybe it's just because I've watched it before that I was more okay with it, but... where was that going? I don't know. Let's move on. We have talked thoroughly about Tokyo Ghoul already, since it's already been on both of our lists. 16th place. I'll go first this time again. For 16th place for me, we have... This was a bit of a toughie, but... surprisingly, Assassination Classroom Season 2.
Interesting. We'll see that a little later on in my list, but yes.
Go ahead, what's yours? And then I'll talk about my reasoning.
Mine's Samurai Champloo.
Ah, okay. That's 7 points for Champloo and 7 points for Assassination Classroom. And, okay, yes, the reasoning for mine being this low on the list, which is surprisingly low, I'll admit, looking back on it, but I think it was just because of it has a decent ending. The second half of Season 2 went back to, like, Season 1 standards of good. However, I remember thoroughly disliking the first half of Season 2 to the point where I'm pretty sure we were considering dropping it. We were like, if this keeps up, we're going to have to drop this show because I can't stand this at the moment.
It was pretty rough for quite a while, but then came back so strong that I couldn't mark it down too much.
Oh, I had to mark it down for that. Like, again, it went back to Season 1 form, and the ending was quite decent for a show, because I know endings are hard to do satisfyingly especially for audiences.
What I'll say about it is his ending was a little overindulgent in places.
Most definitely.
But you know what? At that point, I was like, you know what, show, you do you. Be overindulgent.
You do you. You're ending now. But no, yeah, despite it going back to really good form, it didn't quite wash away the bad taste of the first half of Season 2. Like, I have friends in this house who are like, oh yeah, I'm watching Assassination Classroom at the moment, or I should get back to watching that. And I'm like, where are you up to? It's like, just about to finish Season 1. I need to resume Season 2. I'm like, yeah, just skip the first half of Season 2. You'll be fine. Please, save yourself.
Yeah, the thing about the first half of Season 2 is also, like, really inconsequential to the story as a large. There's, like, a point halfway, like, I can't even remember halfway through, I was like, nothing's happened. Nothing's happened up until this point, and then suddenly it's like, okay, here's all the plot. Okay.
It's like we decided to have filler for the first half of Season 2, and then we went, oh yeah, shit, we should put the plot back in. Then we got, like, the head teacher becoming nice, and many other character interactions happening that were surprisingly good. We'll leave it to you to watch, but second half of Season 2 of Assassination Classroom really does pick up again. So I have to praise it for that. I don't hate Assassination Classroom Season 2. But just the first half, it left a really bad taste. Ugh. Anyway, why is Samurai Champloo here for you?
Again, Samurai Champloo, it was a little frustrating on the plot side, and there was I just remembered the baseball episode where I spent the entire episode googling 18th century firearms and their proliferation in Japan at the time because it was so boring.
This was the first time that I skipped on notes. I remember that episode because I literally wrote nothing. I wrote one word, baseball, and then I'd said nothing.
But that said, I really liked the characters. I liked the way they interacted with each other. I really liked the action, and I liked the individual stories, and I liked how they tied it up at the end. So I came out from Samurai Champloo a lot more positive than you were.
I don't know what it is. I must really like an overarching plot, because its lack of plot, at least an overarching one, really infuriated me, which kind of made me accidentally hate the characters. I'll give you credit in that the action and the animation I thought was really good. I do have to praise it on that front. It is satisfying to watch visually, at least for people like me, but plot-wise it just infuriated me, and I guess I just don't like that kind of show.
I think what they did wrong is, very early on, they gave you a goal. They said, hey, we're looking for the samurai that smells like flowers. And then...
Yeah, the sunflower samurai, and then it never comes up again, apart from occasionally, and it's like, where did this plot go? Give me it back.
I feel like the show would have fared better if it never even mentioned that.
It might have. I probably would have hated it far less. That might be the actual reason. It gave me a plot and then took it away from me. It's like, damn you, show. Oh. But right, okay. Moving on to... Where are we up to? 15th place now. It's your turn to go first again. So what do we have in 15th place for Krishna?
We have a lady killer. Everyone who sees this boy falls in love with him. It's just a shame he's gay, really. It's a mega kill.
Ah, dear Lord.
And by lady killer, I mean, like, literally everyone who falls in love with him dies. So...
Christ. Yeah, literally everyone. Okay. And for me, in 15th place, it is, finally, Hiromaga Sensei. So, there it is on my list. That's 8 points for those two anime. And, go ahead, Krishna. Why is Kameki Kill in 15th place?
I really liked the show until roughly about Shayla's death. At which point I was like, I still like the show, except I'm rapidly losing not interest, but like my enjoyment levels went from like an 8 out of 10 to like a 5, and then the show just it fell into a formula that was too predictable, and it thought it was being really edgy. And it's like, oh, look, we've got characters that we can kill. And then the ending of the show just soured me on the whole experience.
It does feel like, when watching the show, that someone had watched Game of Thrones and went, I could do that, and then started killing off characters left and right unnecessarily towards the end. Like, I like Krishna. I can't remember, which death did you say you were okay up to?
It was somewhere between Shayla's and Bulat's death. Somewhere around there, my enjoyment level dropped significantly. For a bit, and then it went up a bit, and then it was like roughly around the end of the battle between the Jaegers and where the flamethrower dude died.
Yeah,
that's where it started going down again. It's like a roller coaster of thoughts on this show.
Well, actually, no. I should probably save it for when I get to it on my list as well. But I will say, it definitely took a dive near the end, where it's like I was okay with a lot of the character deaths, and then mine's happened, and that was the final character death where I was like, okay, I'm okay with this, and then they started killing off everyone.
Boy,
and it just got really depressing. The ending, my God, I've never felt... I felt quite down after watching it. Don't get me wrong, I didn't go into depression or anything, but I was just kind of like, for the rest of the day, oh.
It was a very depressing end to a show. Well, the reason...
It's Leone's death.
The reason my enjoyment level of, like, about 8 out of 10 enjoyment dropped to, like, a 5, roughly around Bulat's death, is because they gave Tatsumi Incursio, and I was like, that's really boring. They gave him the boring one.
Yeah, we were both hoping that he'd get, like, his own quite unique one.
Yeah, they gave him the boring one, and then the show it was starting to climb up again, and then I recognised its formula, roughly around the Chelsea's death, and then I was like, okay, I know what you're up to, show.
I know what you're up to. Everyone who gets close to Tatsumi dies.
Okay, I get it. It's well animated. I liked all the characters. There's not like I disliked any of the characters. It's purely a plot problem I have with this show.
Yeah, the animation was good, the action was good, the characters were good, the humour was good. It was just a case of yeah, it was the plot wise really that the show fell apart, especially, and then just the ending. Ugh. Ugh. No, shaking off the ending. Plus, I now just think of the ending you told me about from the manga. I love the sound of it. Tatsumi becomes a dragon. What the fuck?
I was reading the ending on Wikipedia. I was like, what the? I want that.
I
like
really want that.
I like that, but also I feel like it would be a way worse show.
No, I think it would have been fantastic with that. That's oh god. That's some over the topness I can take.
That would have been to me a Tokyo Ghoul over the topness, where it's like the show's not grounded, by no means grounded. It's a show grounded, but like kind of grounded. And then it was like, okay, now the main character's a dragon. I'd be like, okay.
But right, okay. As for my 15th place, Iramanga Sensei, we've talked about it before. Started off creepy and weird, then it went to okay, this is I can stand watching this now. I think it was the reason it's this high up on the list, but not any further, is it's purely the surprise enjoyment value that we got towards like I can't remember where it was specifically, so I'll just say the second half of Iramanga Sensei, where we were just like, I actually like these characters and their interactions. I mean, Sagiri, you could still fuck off, but the rest of them is fantastic. I'm really enjoying this for some reason.
Outside of Iramanga herself, the rest of them were fine. It was Iramanga and her weirdness that just made the show worse.
See, I didn't mind her too much. It was when the plot focused on her a bit too much that I kind of disliked her. Whereas otherwise, I kind of liked her because you could kind of relate, like the artistic introvert and things like that. I was just like, okay, reasonably relatable character, and then you'd focus on her. It's just like, this is too weird now. Go away.
It was the whole her being like 12 and the like shows like uncomfortably lingering shots of this 12, and also like her weird perverted obsession with other girls' panties and how she was in love with her brother, and they both wanted to bang each other and they didn't bang each other. It's the whole thing.
Seriously, parental supervision, Japan. Get in there.
It works wonders.
Stop leaving your anime children to live on their own. Incest happens far too often. But right, okay. We can gloss over Iramanga because we have talked about it before. So
well, just one last thing I want to mention on Iramanga. It was the holiday episodes when they went on holiday and we had like Elf's whole thing and the other one's whole thing, and it was just that was when the surprisingly enjoyable rom-com aspect kicked in.
Yeah, it was really funny, and there were some really genuine nice moments as well. We were kind of like, oh, damn it, show. I feel good. But no, yeah, it was really good towards the end of Iramanga, so it's, at least for me, it earns its place in 15th, but no higher, because everything else that comes next, most definitely superior. Okay, so, 14th place. Who went first last time?
I think it was me.
Okay. In 14th place on my list, I have Blue Exorcist Season 1.
Ooh, okay.
Krishna, what's your 14th?
Sorry, my list has got a bit weird. What was my last one?
Your last one was Akame ga Kill.
Okay, right. For some reason on my list I got this one. Fuck it. Assassination Classroom, Season 2.
Hey, there we go. Assassination Classroom, Season 2. Okay, there we are. I'll quickly go over mine first. I've lost it already. Blue Exorcist Season 1. Why is it here and not above or below other things? I've really enjoyed Blue Exorcist. Kind of like... I like the premise. I like following around the son of Satan. I love the supernatural powers. There's the inconsistencies / questions that we had about it that were the things that bugged me about the show, as well as its batshit crazy ending, which was both enjoyable, but at the same time it left me just like, oh.
But it also retroactively became a waste of time. So,
oh yes, Season 2, which we will get onto a bit later in my list, far superior and corrected so many things, but Season 1 on its own, because we are judging these by individual seasons, enjoyable enough to earn it to be like halfway up my list, but not so but the questions it left, like, how does no one notice that there are magic users and things like this about, and spirits and all these giant explosions, and then just that ending of, like, fucking the two sons of Satan joining together, becoming like a giant blue phoenix and flying off and destroying the UFO that was bombarding the city. It's like, what the hell am I watching?
Talk about being high. At that point, I was like, what? What's happening?
Like, my god, the show, thoroughly enjoyable, and I would definitely recommend you go watch both Season 1 and Season 2 of Blue Exorcist, but if you don't want to waste your time, Blue Exorcist, you could stop at...
Episode 18, I do believe.
Yeah, like episode 18, where that's where season 2 kicks in and basically goes, right, everything in season 1 after episode 18, yeah, we're scrapping that and we're redoing it. And it does it really well. So, yeah, Blue Exorcist, season 1, thoroughly enjoyable. It just left me like, huh? So that's why it's here on the list. So, Krishna, your turn.
My Assassination Classroom, season 2. Basically all the reasons stated before, I guess. Like, it really ended strong. Like, it started off pretty rocky to the point where this is like the ultimate comeback story of anime for me, I guess. Although actually no, we've got one coming up that's also an ultimate comeback story, I guess. So we've got a couple of comeback stories, but it started off really rocky to the point where I was like, is this worth even continuing? And then the show hits with I almost called him Ero Sensei. What the hell's his name?
Koro Sensei.
Koro Sensei. It hit with his backstory. And then the show started firing on all cylinders again. And it became probably better than season 1 of Assassination Classroom. It's a shame it's also weighed down by the, like, pretty terrible
First half. As well as, I've just remembered, like, there was occasionally, even though it had gone back to form, there was occasionally some really weird moments where we were just like, okay, show, you're still taking this a bit too far. Like when they hijacked a shuttle going to space.
Well, my problem with the one where they hijacked the shuttle going to space is they didn't go far enough. We could have had, like, really silliness when they got up there, and it was like, oh, we played noughts and crosses with the astronauts, they gave us what we needed, and then we went home. I'm like, we could have had it so much more insane. We could have gone so much further.
It was, oh god. Sorry, I just had a flashback to when they got on board the station, and they were speaking English to the astronauts.
It's the greatest! I love English!
Japanese English is one of the, well, from Chris's point of view, one of the best, and for me, one of the cringiest things ever to listen to. Like, my god.
My favourite Japanese English is coming up later. But
oh, I know. You prick.
This was pretty good.
Okay, so that is 14th place. Yes, 14th place on both of our lists. So, moving on to 13th place now. Krishna, you first this time.
I don't have a witty thing to say about this one. Other than, at some point, it really confused me. It's Attack on Titan Season 2.
Ah, mine's not too far away. And mine's only a few spaces away, but for me, it is Code Geass, Lelouch of the Rebellion, Season 1.
Code Geass, Lelouch of the Rebellion would be next on my list. So, pretty close to each other. But, yeah.
Okay, go ahead and start stating your reasons whilst I quickly take down these points.
I really enjoyed Attack on Titan Season 2, and I would say it's probably a slightly higher quality anime than the next couple on my list, but the problem being, it severely disappointed me. In, like, it really let me down in places. It's half a season, literally nothing gets answered. In fact, they throw about 25 more impossible to answer questions at you.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, who's the Beast Titan? And out of left field, it's like, we're going to reveal something you'd forgotten about. I'm like, okay. And when they reveal it, it's like, really? Everyone who's important to the Titan mystery just so happens to come from the same cadet regiment. Okay.
Like, there was a fuck ton of coincidence. There was just a whole lot of just like, wait, what? Where did this come from? Like, oh god, I'll never forget that moment in the show where it decided to reveal the fucking armored and colossal Titan, and we were just like, wait, what? What?
I remember that week I didn't have much to say about it because I was genuinely bamboozled by the whole thing. It wasn't. It was a mystery that it had no clues. It had been forgotten about because we had a brand new mystery to figure out. That the season mystery was like who the B side is, and then they were like, oh, by the way, it's us. And the way they revealed it wasn't even oh, it's a big revelation. He literally
literally that casual.
He literally came up and said, yeah, so Aaron, we're going to have to take you away because we're the Armored and Colossal Titan. So, yeah, come on, let's go. I was like, what? What's going on?
Could you be any more nonchalant about this show? Like, what the fuck? This is a big reveal. Season 1, it was all about, like, where did these Titans come from? Not necessarily who are they, it was like, where did they come from? What is their origin? And then Season 2, they just casually go like, yeah, okay, so we're the two Titans, and we need you to come with us because we don't want you getting eaten. And it was like, we had the same reaction as Aaron, who was just like, wait, what? Where did this come from? Oh, Christ.
So the thing with Attack on Titan Season 2 is I don't think it's bad. In fact, I think it's good. It's just... It disappointed me. It severely disappointed me and confused me while I was watching it. And that's its cardinal sin. It had cool fights. It had cool strategy. It had... Like, when they had to, like, they were chasing down towards the end, they're chasing down the Armored Titan, and he gets tired at a certain rate, they try and cut him off, they lead packs of Titans onto him. It's cool. When what's-her-face, with the bow and arrows taking down a Titan, she's like, I've got to hit its eyes or else I'm fucked, basically. That was really cool. They're really cool moments and really cool elements, because it's still Attack on Titan. It's still good. It's just severely disappointing.
Especially when you compare it, a bit unfair, but especially when you compare it to Season 1. But, yeah. No, I completely agree. But as for why... Well, Attack on Titan is slightly higher on my list, not too far away, but we'll get to it. But for why Code Geass is here in this position on my list... Okay, so, Code Geass opening, I mean, I liked it from the off, whereas Krishna did not so much, but... Its opening, not the strongest, I'll admit. And then it did get really good. Like, quite really fucking good in the middle of it. And all the way up until the end. But that ending... Like, my god. It's like... Assassination Classroom Season 2. First half was shit. Second half was on form. And the ending was good enough. Whereas with this one, it was just like... First half was Most of it was really fucking good. And then it did almost an Akamega kill levels of dropping the ball at the end, except whereas Akamega kills was depressing as fuck. This one, it was just like, what? Excuse me?
Code Geass is one higher on my list, so I guess you can pencil it in the spreadsheet for me. But the thing with the ending of Code Geass, it's like at a certain point, a certain event happens, and it was like, okay, we're going 50 miles per hour. Okay, pedal to the metal. We're going all the way, boys. And it was like, what's happening? What's going on?
I could live with it going pedal to the metal. It was literally just like the final 2 episodes where it just completely shat itself. And I was just like, okay, show, I loved you up till this point. What went wrong? What happened in the writing department? Like, seriously, what happened? Like, why are the Black Knights suddenly shit without Lelouch, even though Lelouch was literally doing nothing? What was with that ending in the cave, where if this was only a 1-season show, I would be pissed off at this fucking ending? Like, what the hell?
And then also they're like, okay, right, Orange has a new... Mr. Orange Man, he's back, except he's got, like, Techno Geass, and he's got his own special... like, bouncy ball of death and destiny, and now we've got to fight the bouncy ball. There's also a Geass child. He's told Suzuku everything, and
kidnapped Nunnally.
He's kidnapped Nunnally, and we're also on this island, and everything's gone to shit, and it's over. Okay.
Also, the scene in the cave where it's just like Suzuku is just like, yeah, I knew you, Zero, but I didn't want to admit it. And then there's Callan's reaction, which is one of the more infuriating ones, where she just like kind of breaks down, starts crying. It's like, you used us all, and I'm like, well, yes, of course, he's fucking Zero. It doesn't matter if he's Lelouch. What about him being Lelouch changes anything between you?
Regardless of him being Lelouch, the same. Why does him being Lelouch matter at all?
It literally changes nothing apart from you now have a different view of Lelouch, who you just thought was a Britannian school kid. It's literally the only thing that changes there. It changes nothing about Zero or what he's done. You should have seen he was Lelouch, gone, huh, okay, then fucking shot Suzaku. Christ.
The reason
Anyway.
it's slightly higher for me is that
Go
I
on.
really did not like the show. Like, I didn't like the show. And then, I can't even remember specifically what point, but it turned. And then it became really good. I guess I don't mind the ending so much because there's a season 2 happening. But, yeah, the ending was bad. Really bad. But it was the ultimate comeback story. And it has a soft spot for me because of that. It made me like mechs, kind of.
Yeah, when it was more I think the only reason we began to like mechs though was because at one point the show finally just went, okay, everyone has pretty similar mechs now. It's actually just strategy again, and the mechs are just equivalent of soldiers. And we were like, okay, this is cool now instead of fucking the Lancelot.
Yeah, early on it was like, okay, we're winning because we're doing strategy, and then the Lancelot was like, I'm just better than you all. And I was like, okay.
Lancelot literally just comes in and goes, fuck your strategy, I'm just the ultimate power.
I guess we lose then.
But, I mean, even the show even got me to like powerful mechs a little bit, because at first it was just the Lancelot rampaging, but then the Black Knights introduced fucking Callan's mech, which I thought its introduction was really fucking cool. Like, when it was like microwaving Orange's mech suit, I was just like, and then the explosion behind it, I was like, okay, show, that was cool. And then from then on, whenever the Lancelot would show up, she would be there, so they'd be even as well, and it was kind of cool.
I feel that's the way to do a mech show. I've never watched a mech show. This is my first. But I feel like if you're going to have overpowered mechs, well, don't have overpowered mechs, but have each mech have its own, like, gimmick. Like, the Lancelot's gimmick was it was kind of like the others, except better, which was kind of boring. But her gimmick was like, it's better, but also it has this, like, weird, like, Wolverine arm that can make people turn into Swiss cheese. I'm like, okay, that's fun.
That was fucking cool. But yes. Okay, so, I mean, that covers 14th, and, 13th place, and I guess 12th place for you, so I'll go on to my 12th place, which is Assassination Classroom Season 1. Which, it definitely earned its higher spot on the list than its Season 2 counterpart, simply because it was good throughout, as I recall. At least more consistently good throughout. I don't remember hating most of it.
Yes, no, it was very good.
I'm trying to remember if there was any like negative episodes. There probably were, but I've probably forgotten about them due to them being far outnumbered by good episodes.
It's also a fairly long time ago now for us.
Yeah. This is trying to recall back to the beginning of the anime review show, so forgive us, my memories are a bit vague, but yes. Assassination Classroom Season 1, a good introduction to a weird premise, but you very swiftly grow to like the characters. Like, it's a bit weird at first. Like, I remember the first few episodes, like where they had like the baseball assassination plot. We were just kind of like, okay, this is weird, but whatever. And then you quickly grow to like Koro Sensei and his wackiness, and then the assassination plots get a bit more intricate, as well as just watching him interact with his students in like really awesome ways, and you're just like, oh, show, stop making me have feels.
Season 1 had like a sweet spot of really great assassination plots, as well as it had like heart. Like it like had an emotional core that the first half of Season 2 lacked, where it was always brought back to Koro Sensei and his relationship with his kids, and it was just really nice to watch. Certainly a feel good show.
It was a very good show. The only reason it's not higher on this list is, well, I'll state those reasons when I'm talking about the anime to come. But I just felt, whilst it was really good, I just liked everything else that was above it more. Basically, it's the only reason it's not higher on the list.
It's a little higher for me, not too much higher. We'll get to it soon enough, but it's a little higher.
Right. Okay. I think you went first last time, so moving on to 11th place. On my list now comes Attack on Titan Season 2. So I need to write that down. What's yours, Krishna?
Mine is Blue Exorcist Season 1.
Blue Exorcist Season 1, okie dokie. Righty-tighty. As for why Assassination, just talked about that deal. Attack on Titan Season 2 is here on the list, is because from here on out, this list is definitely anime I just purely like and have very little to no problems with at all, with kind of the exception of I keep saying Assassination Classroom. God damn it, I've got it on the brain now. I want to watch it again. Attack on Titan Season 2, which, although was quite the disappointment, especially obviously coming off having just watched Season 1 again. But I don't know why. I still really like I keep saying Assassination Classroom. God damn it. Attack on Titan. I still really like Attack on Titan Season 2. It's just a case of it was mainly just very confusing and liked to throw your expectations all over the place. That's the reason why. I mean, in some shows that can be really good, but I guess the fact that this was only half season as well is what puts it at the bottom of this. Because if it had been a full 24 episode season, we probably would have stabilized and gotten some answers, and it would have been fine. But for some reason they split it. So now season 3, which is just the second half of season 2, really, or at least should be, is going to be coming out this year. And yeah, it just left me very confused and dazed. Like, okay, well, that was a lot to take in. And a lot of random points were brought up. Like, what the fuck, show? But it still had its really cool moments, like you said, with the girl and having a flashback. Was it a flashback, or was it just her visiting the town and then having to shoot the Titan with the arrows and things like that?
She was having flashbacks of her of season 1 points that we hadn't seen, but it was a good mix of flashbacks and also her having to fight a Titan at set with no equipment.
I remember there being a fair few really good character moments, because we got a fair few more individual stories, and they were all really quite good, as I recall. Some of them were a bit and the only main complaint I can have about season 2 is, like you brought up, just the huge coincidence of, okay, everyone who seems to be able to turn into a Titan or is important to this plot is in this one fucking squad. Come on, show. Seriously.
Yeah, that was I've already gone over my thoughts, but yeah, it was too convenient and just too out of left field at places.
So yeah, that's why it's there on my list. There's not much else to say because we've both talked about it. So go ahead with yours. Blue Exorcist Season 1.
I really like Blue Exorcist, and the more I think about I think Blue Exorcist Season 2 made me like Season 1 even more. Because
I can agree with that.
It recontextualized some things and whatnot. But Blue Exorcist Season 1 on its own, I really like the setup, I really like the characters, I really like the action, I really like the story. Even when it goes off script at episode 18 and it's okay, right, we're going balls to the walls, I still really like that too. So there's very little I dislike about Blue Exorcist Season 1. It was just fun. I like seeing these exorcists and the way they fight and the different ways they have to fight. And since our main character's new to it as well, we get to learn alongside him. So it was just fun to see.
Yep, fair enough. I've already stated my reasons for liking Season 1.
I guess I was just a lot less put off by the craziness at the end of it.
Yeah. I mean, it's only 3 spaces down, to be fair, on my list. It's not like I hated it. It was just a case of, I guess I just have a bit less of a tolerance for weird things. I don't know. But, yeah, okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, we finally reach the top 10. These are the Blunt Lemon's official top 10 anime, or at least anime review show season 1 so far. So, what do we have in 10th place, Chris? Take it away.
He's a yellow squid who really, really likes female underwear. To the point where you can actually frame him, but he'll get really embarrassed about it. It's Assassination Classroom Season 1.
Of course, that's fair enough. I can understand why it's quite high on your list. And for me, before we go into details, for me in 10th place it is Akame ga Kill.
Ooh, much higher than I put Akame ga Kill.
Go for it, Chris. Why is Season 1 here for you and not where I put it?
To be honest, I don't really have much more to add about Assassination Classroom Season 1.
I've talked quite a bit about it.
It's just really good. It's just a really good feel-good show. With a strong... It's got strong comedy and a strong, emotional core. It's not really about the assassinations, even though they're fun. It's all about the relationship between not Iromanga, fucking...
We keep getting shows confused. It's weird talking about all these shows at once, isn't it?
It is. It's all about the relationship between Koro Sensei and these kids, and that's what really makes the show strong.
I mean, I can agree with that. That's why it's only 2 spaces down from here. And although I bitch about the ending to Akamega Kill, I still really thoroughly enjoyed the show all the way throughout. Like, even with its consistent like character deaths, it was only like the last, was it the last 2 or 3 episodes where everyone started dying?
About that,
But-
yes.
Yeah, but I was fine with everything up until all the deaths after Mine's death, where the show got like really depressing. But up until then, the show had been really fucking good in my mind. Like, don't get me wrong, there were some slow points, and sometimes the humor wouldn't click, and they could have done some plot points better. Like we've discussed many times, the like grey areas they could have gone into with people like Seiyu, the Justice Girl, and things like that.
That's also something I forgot to mention before. The grey areas really bugged me. We could have had a cool, like... We could have delved into what it means to be an assassin, but instead we're like, no, everyone's just evil.
So there's a fair few negatives to the show, but despite those negatives, I really, really like, for some reason, Akamega Kill. Like, the ending doesn't sour it to the point where I have to lower it too much. I do have to lower it a bit, otherwise it would be higher than some of the things listed next, but actually no, there's no way it could have beaten what was coming next, even if the ending was good. Or not unless it had like the perfect ending. But yeah, no, we've already discussed Akamega Kill, so I'll leave it at that. It's in 10th place for me, and I just thought it was really good.
It was good, but... we've gone over my thoughts. Let's move on.
Let's move on. We now have 9th place, which for me was... Yep, just checking. Blue Exorcist Season 2. My god, this was a really fucking good season. It was hard to put it this low on the list.
It's a fair few places higher for me, but yes, it's great.
9th place for you.
Oh, 9th place for Kuroko's Basketball Season 1.
Oh, that's surprisingly low. Okay, dokie, give me a moment. My brain's gone blank. Where is Kuroko's Basketball Season 1? There we are. It's listed alphabetically. I think I'll be able to find it easy enough on my list. Okay. So, why is Season 1 down here?
It's genuinely a great show, and it introduced all the elements, and it was funny, and Coach was in it, so, those are instant points. No, the reason it's low, and that's not even to say it's a bad show, it's a great show, it wouldn't be my top 10 of the shows we've watched so far in our show. I've said show too many times. I feel like Kuroko's Basketball really kicked into gear in Season 2. That was when we really started delving into the Generation of Miracles and the Uncrowned Kings and all of the stuff with between, I can't remember any of the characters' name, Angry Red Hair Boy on our team and Kagami, I remember now, and his bro from back in America. Like,
I don't remember his name.
I don't remember his name either. That was when we started delving into all that. Season 1 was really strong, set up the elements of what would make the other seasons super great, but it just wasn't quite there yet to be truly as amazing as those two. And that's not even to say it's bad. It's still a great, surprising show about superpowered basketball.
Hence why if you do go back to watch like our first early episodes of the anime review show, though, please don't.
Yeah, I don't
so
suggest that.
But yeah, if you do, you'll notice us saying a lot, just like, well, take it away, Chris. I believe it was your catchphrase for whilst we were watching the show.
How can I care about basketball strategy so fucking much?
Right.
It's a show that made me care about a sport I give no shits about.
I will talk about this. However, I'm going to save it for when it appears on my list because I have a lot to say. Even though a lot of it's just going to be what Chris said, I have a lot to say on it. Oh boy, but no, yeah. At least it made it into the top 10. I can definitely respect that. I'm curious to see how the rest of your list is ordered as well. But no, for 9th place for me, Blue Exorcist Season 2. So good. Like, my god, it is so good. It's... the only reason it's not higher... I'm going to keep saying this for all the ones that keep coming up, really. But the only reason it's not higher is because everything else afterwards, I just feel, was so much better. And not saying that this is bad. This was really fucking good. It went back to Season 1 and said, you know what? That batshit crazy shit, that was not following the manga. Yeah, we're getting rid of that. We're scrapping that. We're going to correct that all. We're going to clarify some things. And then we're going to give you quite a good plot for Season 2 as well. And then you're just like, whoa, okay, this is awesome. Like, for one thing, addressing the magic thing of, like, how does no one notice any of the shit going on? No, people notice this shit's going on. They set up, like, public police zones and stuff about it now. So it's just, like, it's a normal, everyday thing now. It's like, thank you. That makes much more sense.
Yeah, they know about Exorcists. They even go up to and say, oh, look, the Exorcists are out today. We should not go down this street. And stuff like that.
Compared to season 1, where it was kind of like, oh yeah, no, the Exorcists, they're secret. No one knows about this, and no one knows about spirits and things like that. And yet you have, like, a truck driving into a church, explosions going off, and you're like, how does no one notice any of this?
At one point, a giant cat has taken over a major bridge in the middle of a city, and there's gunfire, and nobody's asking any questions about it.
Like, maybe we misinterpreted something and they never actually said that people don't notice this shit, but that's the idea that we got from it, and it's just like, no. But then, season 2 also has quite a decent plot, and it also addresses the, I'm trying to remember his name, I think it's Rin? Rin being the son of Satan thing, far, far better than season 1 did.
Yeah,
like
our characters
it opens up with everyone being afraid of him.
Yeah, our characters actually have, they deal with the plot point that's set up, whereas before it was just like, oh, we don't care. Basically.
Like, you're the son of Satan, we don't care, you're still our friend. And it's just like, I know he's on your side, but I'd still be a bit freaked out if the son of Satan suddenly announced himself to me. And they are rightfully fearful of him for quite the large amount of the show. It did get a little annoying on me, because I remember, actually, despite praising it now, I remember back then quite disliking it. So when they finally got to the point where it was like the girl whose name I can't remember, like, gives him a hug, and it's just like, but you've proven yourself to be like a good guy over and over again, like. And I'm just like, finally, someone realizes maybe being a dick to the son of Satan isn't a good idea, especially when all he's done is help you. Like, Christ, I remember getting infuriated, but still, season 2, really good. But unfortunately, just not as good as everything else that's to come.
Well, we'll get to my thoughts on season 2 a little bit more in depth in a few spots, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so 8th place. I think it's your turn to go first again.
We have a school of witchcraft and wizardry, where one brown-haired girl and her ginger friend and her other, much more clever friend all get into magical hijinks. It's not Harry Potter, even though it might sound like it. It's Little Witch Academia Season 1. The first half of that, I guess.
Just stop right there as well, because in my 8th place we have Little Witch Academia Season 1. We converged again.
Finally, our lists have something in common.
But yes, okay, let's just talk about Little Witch Academia, I guess, for 8th place. Like,
it's just
my God.
so charming.
My God, the show is just so good. Like, it's like Little Witch Academia. It's like 3 witches going to school. It's like, okay, sounds like a reasonably novel idea. Like, nothing special, nothing great. So we watched it, and from the off, you're just like, these characters, I really like them.
They're just so likeable. I think, for the first time in my entire life while reviewing Little Witch Academia, I said the words adorable and cute more than I've ever said in my entire life.
Yes, I think I can agree with this. Oh, just the characters are so great, and they can be really, again, adorable and cute, and just, they're so funny.
They're so funny, and they bounce off each other so well, and it's such a feel-good show. Like, usually the shows I watch are, like, dark, depressing about, oh, look, humanity's been eaten by giants and everything's fucking down and sad. Like, oh, look, like, this is the son of Satan and his dad's dead. And it sucks. And this one is like, no, everything's just happy. And we're all doing happy things. And we're all laughing and having a good time and learning to be witches together.
Yep. And it is fantastic throughout. And I have to emphasize this again as well, because as well as all that, this show's animation. This show is so beautifully animated. Maybe it's because I'm doing, like, animation for my dissertation stuff, so maybe I'm just, like, appreciating it far more because of that. But just watching this show, even if you weren't listening to it, it's just really good to actually watch. Like, it looks so good. And it has some really gorgeous moments on there as well.
Yeah, it's a really pretty show. All the characters are so expressive as well. Like, they're all bouncing around and their faces are just so cute. I guess is what I want to say. I don't know how to describe it, I guess.
Yeah. The only part where it goes weird is when it goes like hyper realistic.
But they play that for weirdness.
Oh yeah, they do that on purpose, and it is still funny. But you're just kind of like, please go back to normal.
There's something about explosions in Little Witch Academia. They don't happen very often, but when they do
Explosions and fireworks.
I like look at them and I'm like, I like that explosion. Like,
This
give me
sounds
more.
like it sounds like a gamer thing to say, because it's usually things you would apply to like games, but it has Little Witch Academia has really nice lighting. Like whenever there's explosions, fireworks, or just like a glow, like the thing that still stands out to me whenever I think of Little Witch Academia is when she's talking to like the royalty son, whatever he was, and she was like dancing about in front of the fountain and it was glowing behind, and I was just like, God damn it, show, you truly are beautiful. Like, my God. It has really good lighting. I don't know why.
Lighting's very like a lot of the time in animation, lighting isn't really paid attention too much, but in this show, it's like they really play with it. It's very important to the art of cinematography, and it comes off really well here.
But, okay, is there anything else we want to say about this before we just gush over it more? Should we move on?
It's just a great show.
It is, seriously. It's a Netflix original anime. Go watch it. That's all I can say.
Do it.
Do it now. Come back here after you've done it. And see what's in the top 7. So, okay, let's move on to our 7th place. Okay. Here's where it gets really fucking tough, because everything that's left is so goddamn good. But okay. 7th place for me, My Hero Academia, Season 2.
How very interesting.
Go on.
My Hero Academia, Season 1.
Oh, wow. This is very interesting. So I guess we're just going to be comparing why we value one season over the other.
Yeah, we inverted our opinions here, I guess.
This is very interesting. Okay, hold on. Season 2 for me, 16 points. Season 1 for you, 16 points. Okay. Who should start first? Krishna, why is Season 1 of less value to you?
Season 1 was really cool. It introduced us to our world. It's one of my... My Hero Academia has become one of my favourite shows of all time.
I can agree with this.
That said, Season 1, the protagonist, Midoriya, he cries too much. And is way too wimpy throughout the whole thing. Minor gripe, I know. And that's pretty much my only complaint about Season 1. But Season 2 is where the show's premise truly comes into its own. We have such an amazing tournament arc in Season 2. We have such amazing fights. The story beats are so cool. Each arc is... Every character... by the end of a story arc, each character is at a different place and at a different understanding of their powers in themselves. It's just so good.
No, that is fair. Before I go on, because mine won't take long, it's a case of I completely agree with everything Christian just said. So you're probably thinking, why is Season 2 here instead of Season 1? I don't know what it is about me, but I guess I just value a good introduction more than anything else. Like, Season 1 got us into this world, introduced us to this world, its characters, the premises, and just like with certain other shows that we'll get to, I don't know why, I much prefer a good introduction to a show, and that values it far higher. Like, Season 2, fantastic, develops off everything that was set up in Season 1 and more, and runs with it, and you're just like, this is all so amazing. And there's more of it, because Season 1 was only 12 episodes, whereas Season 2 was like a full 24-episode season. Season 2, completely amazing, and that's why it is in my top 10 this high. But I really value Season 1. I guess it's the nostalgia value, I don't know, of just Season 1 being a really good introduction to a show, which is why it is more valued than Season 2 for me, which is why Season 2 is in 7th place.
Season 1 did a really, really good job of setting up the rules of their universe, what exactly happens, what the rules of this school. It set up everything so perfectly and was really well animated, and also introduced us to the overarching villains plot in a really cool battle at the end as well. There's nothing wrong with Season 1 apart from Midoriya's crying too much, and they sorted that by Season 2, so we can move past that. But There's not much I can say bad about season 1. It's just season 2 took season 1 and amplified it by 1,000. It took everything that was good about season 1 and just made it more, I guess.
Yeah, no, I can completely agree with this. In a logical standpoint, there's no reason season 2, in my mind, shouldn't be better than season 1. It's just a case of I really value having a really good introduction to a show. Just from a story standpoint, because I love like making worlds, making stories, and things like that. A good introduction is so important. Hence why we couldn't get through shows like Black Clover and stuff, because people might come back to us later on and say, "Oh, Black Clover gets really good. You should watch it again." And I'm just going to be like, "I'm sorry, no. The first 9 episodes didn't catch me. I am not suffering through a shitty introduction to get to a good show."
Yeah, people often say, "Oh, you should watch this. It gets good." Say it's a game. It gets good 5 hours in, or it's a show. It gets good 3 episodes. I'm like, no. If you're not going to catch me from the beginning, there's no point in watching your show. I'm just wasting my time.
Yeah, it's like, I'm sorry. I'm sure it does get good later on, if you're telling me so, but no, it has to have a good introduction for me, which is why we've dropped shows like Persona, Elegant Yokai, and Black Clover. All 3 of those shows at the bottom of our lists were dropped partway through.
It's not even that I don't believe people when they tell me that a show gets good. I'm sure the show is brilliant by episode 15 or something like that. I'm never going to get there. Because I hate what I'm watching so much now, I'm never going to get past it.
So, yeah. Okay. 7th place for us, My Hero Academia Season 1 for Chris, and My Hero Academia Season 2 for me. That is very interesting. I'm really liking all this so far. I'm curious to see what the result is.
We exactly inverted our opinions there.
Okay, so, 6th place. Was it your turn to go first or mine?
I can't remember.
We'll say it's yours. What is in 6th place for Krishna?
We've been in a city that's pretty much just one school. Now we're going to Kyoto. You might call it the Kyoto Saga, even. It's Blue Exorcist Season 2, the Kyoto Saga.
Hey, awesome. And for me, it is Food Wars Season 1. Because, my god, that is such a good fucking show. I really wanted to put it higher on the list, but what it's up against, there was no way it was winning.
Well, it's definitely higher on my list.
But okay. I mean, we've mostly touched on Season 2 already, but I guess we'll quickly go over Season 2 again, Krishna.
It retroactively made Season 1 better. It had a really cool story. I really like the action in this specifically. Like, the Todo-Yukio fight was really cool. I just like watching Yukio fight anything, I guess. It took what was wrong with Season 1, made it better, and then retroactively made Season 1 better as well.
Yep, no. I completely agree with this. Season 2. Oh, yeah, as well. I forgot to mention this before as well, but now thinking back to Little Witch Academia. Blue Exorcist Season 2. Again, it also, I guess because it was done later on, and maybe had more of a budget, but its animation went up, because I remember we started watching Season 2 and we were like, something's different.
It's the same, but better.
Yeah.
It's a weird way of putting it. It is the same animation. They went out of the way to make it look like the other one, but everything looks just that smidge better.
It's like everything was a bit shiny, a bit smoother, and it was just like, I could tell there's a difference, but you still look the same.
I've since watched the Blue Exorcist movie, which is not the world's greatest movie, but it's a fun movie to watch. Either way. The animation quality of the Kyoto Saga is much more in line with that movie than it is with the show. In that both the movie and Kyoto Saga look like the show, they just seem so much more high quality in specific ways, I guess.
Okay. And as for me, Food Wars. My god, Food Wars. Food Wars, you are a fantastic show, and I literally have 0 complaints about you. And I think that applies to most of the shows, if not all of the shows that are coming up next. 0 complaints, and I will reiterate this again. Food Wars, it hits you straight in the face from the off what the show is like, and we fucking fell in love with it immediately.
It's a raunchy comedy. That's what it is. It's a raunchy comedy set around food.
It's quite literally a case of, if you haven't watched Food Wars yet, oh, first of all, sorry if we spoil anything, but second of all, seriously, if you don't like it in the first 2 minutes before the opening credits, you're not going to like the show, because the first 2 minutes slaps you in the face with what this show is going to be like from now on. And it's fantastic, at least for us.
Look, I get it if you don't like it. There's nothing against people who don't like it, but I think it speaks to what we find funny. More specifically than anything else, why we like this show.
Oh my god.
But also on top of that, it packs in an actually really good story to go along with it.
Along with really good characters.
Really, really good characters that I like watching interact with each other.
Yeah, there hasn't been a character yet that would just like, oh, fuck off, you're annoying or anything like that. No, you like Nakiri, the girl that's constantly like, I don't like your food. You like obviously Soma, and it's just obliviousness to everything that's going on around him. Megumi, best girl.
Obviously, best girl.
Nakiri, the meat master, their interactions, like the holiday episode with Soma, Nakiri, and the random schoolgirl who was introduced for one episode, and we're just like, I really like you. You've been in the show for what episode? My god, how did they do that?
It's also not even mentioning the food, which looks delicious.
Fuck you, anime food. Like, seriously, why does anime food look so good? But hey, it's inspired us for many dishes if we ever do an anime cooking show. To experiment on Joe.
I'm sure it'll all turn out wonderfully.
Oh god, if we ever get like an actual budget and start doing like bigger productions, I want to do that. We will do this.
We've got to make sure we don't poison someone, but yes.
I mean, I always test my food out on myself first, so... but yes. Okay, Food Wars Season 1. Fantastic introduction to a show. I really, really look forward to watching Seasons 2 and 3 on the Anime Review show. And there's not much else for me to say on it, really. Apart from, it had a really huge hurdle to beat, and hence why it's not in the top 5.
Never have I watched a show that's been like, I've been like, am I actually watching porn right now?
Oh yeah, like if you watch a show and you have like a nervous disposition or don't want to think anyone else thinking of you as weird, lock the door when you're watching it. Otherwise, people will think you're watching hentai when they walk in the room on certain scenes.
To be honest, at some points I thought I was watching hentai, and I was the one who I was already watching this.
Also, as a quick disclaimer, if you don't already know, like I didn't going in, apparently the reason we think this is because, quite literally, the show was made by a person who made hentai. So, you can tell that when you watch the show.
Oh, yes.
Oh my god. Okay, yes. Food Wars Season 1, thoroughly enjoyable. 6th place for me. So, moving on, ladies and gentlemen, to the top 5 anime of all time on the Anime Review show. What do we have in 5th place? For me, it is Kuroko's Basketball, Season 2.
Well, how very interesting. Because in my 5th place, we have Kuroko's Basketball, Season 2.
Oh! Oh! We've converged again!
Another converging point, we've done it.
My god, okay. So, Kuroko's Basketball Season 2. Why is it in 5th place for you, I guess we'll start off with.
This is when the winter tournament really started kicking in. And it was fucking awesome. It's silly, superpowered basketball through and through. But it's also got a really good story and really likeable characters to boot.
Plus it starts developing a whole lot more characters. Like, you get brief insights into certain characters. Like, I remember in Season 1, for instance, I really didn't like the guy that we referenced as Greenhead Dude, which is Midori, for so long. I really didn't like him in his like superstitious ways or anything like that. Season 2, fucking liked him. You like all the characters.
Even characters you think are dicks and you end up liking it. And then sometimes there's characters that are like, hey, yeah, they do good dicks, I guess. When you're not meant to like a character, you don't like the character.
Like, the show is quite clearly getting you to not like them. It's not like they're trying to make them likable in a subtle way or anything. The show's just like, yeah, no, this guy's a cunt, and you shouldn't like him. And we're like, we're with you, show.
You got us. We're going there.
Plus,
sorry?
I was just about to say, I guess this is more of a point for Season 3, but I'm just going to talk about Kuroko's Basketball in general just a tiny bit here, in that Kuroko's Basketball does a really good job of, like, when you actually think about it, there are so many fucking characters. Like, don't get me wrong, there's only 2 main characters, technically, which is Kuroko and Kagami, because this is mostly about their pairing, but there are so many like main side characters. This is what I like to call them. There's three categories for me. There's main characters, there's main side characters, and then there's side characters. And there are so many like main side characters, and you're just like, how does this show juggle all these characters and actually like get me to like them all? Like, wow. There are so many. There's like 5 full basketball teams that you thoroughly like.
I'm going to go slightly off script here and reveal what my number 4 position is as well, because it's Kuroko's Basketball Season 3. So I'm just going to roll Season 3 and Season 2 in together, since they were kind of a tie in my mind. So that's why they got 4th and 5th place on my list.
Okay, fair enough.
Yes, so it juggles so many characters and makes you care about everyone, even characters that the Uncrowned Kings, not characters that are around a lot, but it makes you care about them.
The main example that stands out in my mind is it's when it did an episode on the guys that are always on the bench in Kuroko's basketball, and you're like,
the other first years, and then by then I was like, oh god, we have an episode of the first years, and then by the end of that I was like, oh shit, I care, and I get where they're coming from, and I really care that one of them finally got onto the pitch. Well, I said pitch, the court. It's not a pitch.
Ow. But go on with your Season 3 stuff, I guess. We're just kind of diverging into 4th place as well. Go on.
Season 3, the reason Season 2 and Season 3, you can almost count this as joint 3rd, I guess. Not joint 3rd, joint 4th. They're linked in my mind, because it's all the same competition. Season 2 begins just before the winter competition, right? And then Season 2 and 3, in almost their entirety, is the winter cup, which our characters win at the end, quite obviously. But
obviously,
it sets up villains, but I care about the villains, and I guess it's what they do really well is set up the generation of miracles and use that, flesh them out so strongly and so well. I care about I've forgotten his name.
Description?
Blue-haired one.
What, Kuroko?
Aomine.
Oh, right, other blue-haired one, yeah.
Other blue-haired one. Aomine. I care about his, I care that he doesn't enjoy basketball anymore, and that he just wants a strong opponent. I care about his and Kuroko's relationship. I care about Midorima and his issues and his battles. I care about Kise, who is by far the nicest of the bunch.
Oh, yes.
I
he
care
even
about...
got us to like the guy that we thought was a dick from the off, who, when he met Kagami, decided, I'm just going to casually attempt some murder.
Yeah, he did. He was also surprised that he didn't murder someone, so he was definitely all in on the murder train.
Oh, God. Seriously, Kuroko's basketball as a whole is just so fantastic with its characters. Like, technically, the plot isn't anything special. It's literally just following a team, with them going through competitions, and obviously them winning at the end. But it's not that plot you're there for. It's the character plots and their interactions, and it's all just so good.
Even when they're off the pitch, the show's funny. And why do I think it's in pitch? Court. I'm showing my ignorance with sport things here, but hey, I never claimed to be a sports fan. I'm a Kuroko's basketball fan. It's different. It's just really good. And Season 2 and Season 3 in my mind are linked, so they were basically tied. That's why I got 5th and 4th on my list.
Fair enough. I shall go briefly on to 4th place on my list, then, which is... How many points is that actually? That's 19 points. Oh boy, we're getting to the big boys here. But no, for me, it is My Hero Academia Season 1. Because, well, we've talked about it before, really, and it's just a case of Season 2, fantastic. Season 1, also fantastic. But like I said before, I just really value a good introduction to a show, a setting, the whole thing, and it does it really fucking well. So, I'm not going to say too much more on that, because I did say quite a bit beforehand.
It does do it amazingly.
But, okay. Let us move on to another special occasion now. Finally, it is the top 3 anime of all time on our personal lists.
Well, anime of the first season.
Of the anime review show Season 1, yes. But, okie dokie. So, in 3rd place, we have... I can't remember who went first last time, so I'll just go first. For me, it is Kuroko's Basketball, Season 1.
Ew. For me, it's Food Wars Season 1.
Okie dokie. See, this is the tricky part of the show now, where we've both talked about all these shows so much. We're kind of just repeating ourselves. But you go ahead first.
Boy, do I want to eat some anime food. There's not much more to say other than these characters. It's just a fun show. And it makes me... It finds new and interesting ways to make me care about the food they're cooking every time.
That is also another point to bring up, because I forgot about that point when I brought it up before. But yeah, Food Wars, there was a brief point where I can't remember if this was a shared concern, I was kind of like, okay, I'm getting a bit worried now, because this is getting a bit repetitive. And then it fucking jazzed things up and changed the setting and gave them different things to do. I was like, oh, okay, show. I'm sorry I ever doubted you.
It does such a good job of changing up the stakes and changing up the scenarios in which, like, because it like the first couple of one was like, oh, he has to cook food, but he has shitty ingredients, which is fine, it was more than fine, it was great. But then we started getting into more of the we started getting more scenarios of how we'd have to get the ingredients, or maybe they all have the same ingredients, or maybe it's a special type of cooking, or maybe this is now we have to cook for a buffet, and all the trials that involves.
God damn. But yes, that is Food Wars. And then as for Kuroko's Basketball, Season 1, again, it's the same thing with My Hero Academia. Fucking Kuroko's Basketball Seasons 1, 2, and 3, all really fucking good. The reason it's in third place for me, though, over Season 2, which is back in fifth place, is because, again, I just value a really fucking good introduction. And this was the first time, for me, still the ultimate time, where a show that we had no expectations of going into, like, at all, like, I remember putting on the list, and we were both like, okay, so this is a sports anime, we're probably not going to like it very much, we'll probably drop it in, like, the next few weeks, won't we? We both agreed. And then we came back on that first week and went, what the fuck? I really like this show. It was the first time a show had done that to me, where I went in expecting not to like it at all, and I fucking loved it.
It was very surprising.
My god. So yeah, thoroughly earns its spot in third place, at least for me. Okay.
It's ninth on my list, but it's just... It was the ultimate surprise.
And it forever shall be.
A very pleasant surprise. I don't think any show's ever going to surprise me like that again.
Like, we're probably a bit more open-minded now, because... well, at least we're definitely more open-minded to sports anime and other genres of anime. I've just really valued the anime review show for broadening our anime horizons.
It's not the most watched show in the world, but it's brought me so many shows I never would have watched before. Some of it good, some of it bad, but, you know...
Which is why, despite a year of low viewership, we're definitely continuing on to Season 2 of this.
Oh, definitely. If low viewership was going to deter us, we would have shut the Blunt Lemons a long time ago.
Oh, yes. But alright, okay. Second place. Now, if you've been paying attention to the list carefully, / there'll probably be a list on screen, then you'll probably know what's going to be in first place straight away after this, but hopefully it'll still be a surprise for those viewers who are not as attentive. So, second place. Krishna, what do we have?
It's Attack on Titan. Titan Season 1.
Well, funnily enough...
If you didn't guess from my expert rendition of the theme tune.
Funnily enough, Krishna, we've converged again. Attack on Titan Season 1 is also in second place for me. Like,
this was my favourite anime of all time.
This was, first of all, my introduction to anime itself, my introduction to this world. So, you know me by now, if you've been paying attention to this. I value my introductions. This is the ultimate introduction. It got me into anime, and it was the most awesome introduction to anime I could have asked for. Like, my god. I won't lie, I was one of those people before I watched anime where I was kind of just like, that's just like weird. Only weird people watch things like that. Like, isn't it just like mostly hentai and shitty jokes and things like that? I watched this and I was like, oh boy, I was wrong.
Get your Chinese cartoons out of here.
Oh boy. Like, Jesus. This show punches you in the face. It's like, you thought anime was for pussies? No. We're gonna give you damn good story, damn good action. We're gonna be fucking brutal as well on a Game of Thrones level.
It's brutal, it's gory, it's depressing, it's fucking action-packed, it's surprising. It's very well animated. My introduction, this was my introduction to anime, even though I watched Avatar: The Last Airbender and Legend of Korra first, but they're not anime per se. But it was that, and then this was like recommended from that as like what to watch on Netflix next if you like, you know, Asian inspired animated stuff. And then Attack on Titan was my next thing I clicked. I was like, I was blown away. I didn't know it could be like this, and it changed me.
Yep, it is the show. Despite it being the show that got us both into anime, I like how we both put it in second place. But yes, Attack on Titan Season 1. I can't praise it enough. And to be fair, I'll understand to the viewers out there who might not have watched it, because at this point, with how long Season 1 has been out, it's kind of had the same effect as, like, if this wasn't my introduction to anime, and we'd watched several other things, and then we went, right, do you want to watch Attack on Titan Season 1? I probably would have, at this point, say no. Simply because it is one of those shows that is so overly praised by everyone that it kind of just like puts me off watching it. Like the same with Walking Dead, Breaking Bad, things like that, where it was so overly praised. I'm just like, I'm not watching it. Everyone says it's so good, it can't be that good.
Yeah, Breaking Bad is a show that I can't watch because it's been praised too much. I refuse. I will not do it.
So I can understand to any viewers out there who haven't watched Attack on Titan, like, at all, even if you do watch anime, but seriously, I would thoroughly recommend watching it. I won't say it's the best anime of all time or anything like that.
I couldn't possibly know if it was or wasn't. I've not watched enough anime yet.
I still think you will. Well, obviously it depends on your personal taste, but it is a thoroughly good watch. So seriously, go do that if you haven't already.
I feel like it's boosted. I'd say other shows. There's shows with better characters and more enjoyable characters interacting with each other. But that's not Attack on Titan's strength. Attack on Titan paints a bleak and very interesting world with really cool action and the ultimate underdog story. And I like myself an underdog story.
If there's anything we've learnt about Krishna during the course of this show, / just anything really, it's that we / especially he really values an underdog story.
I like a power imbalance in a fight, especially. I like the idea of going up against a much stronger opponent and the tenacity required to win that battle.
Oh, right. Okay. So, gushing over Attack on Titan Season 1 done. It is now time to announce our personal favourites for the Anime Review Show Season 1, which I already know the answer to because I got the list in front of me, but Krishna, state your favourites out of everything we've watched so far.
Plus Ultra! It's My Hero Academia Season 2.
And for me, it is Kuroko's Basketball Season 3. So, take it away, Krishna. What makes this the best out of all the seasons we have watched so far?
It's become one of my favourite shows of all time. It's like it's not perfect, but nothing's perfect. It's an amazing superhero universe in a way that I thought I could never get from an anime, and it's still happening. It's still carrying on. It's really cool. It has great characters that play well off each other. Characters that the stories that they're involved in like fundamentally change them and their ideas and their beliefs. And I feel like that I don't know how to put it. It's just a really well realized universe and a really well realized story. It's just really cool.
It really fucking is. It goes more in depth into certain characters that, obviously, with only 12 episodes Season 1, that we didn't get that much of a look into in Season 1, as well as really some of the characters just growing them in such good ways. Like, obviously, like fucking Uraraka in the tournament arc, and her against fucking what's he called? I've forgotten his name. Bakugo, that was it. Her against Bakugo. That fight, it's just like, oh my god, Uraraka, you are fucking amazing.
Underdog story.
My god, she fucking puts up a fight until the end. Christ. And then there's watching Midoriya, like, kind of like counsel, Ice Guy, whose name I've forgotten as well.
Todoroki.
Todoroki, thank you.
My God, I'm the name expert for once. This has never happened to me before.
This is a change. It's a testament to how much you like this show, obviously.
It's just... It's what it does, it's not just about the action, it's about the underlying character beliefs and how they grow more than anything else. Yeah, it's got really cool action, it's got really clean animation style that lends itself well to like really high action scenes. Like the battles look great, and they're really well choreographed as well. Specifically in my mind, I go back to that last fight between All Might and Bakugo and Midoriya, and I'm like, Jesus, that fight was really cool. Also, All Might broke those children.
It's like All Might, chill.
There's one point where he's like fighting Bakugo, and Midoriya's going away. He's like, no, you don't. Blasts himself backwards into Midori, then gets blasted into a bus. And like, the kid's broken his back. All Might, you've broken his spine. Okay.
He's most definitely paralyzed or dead. Doesn't matter how much training you gave him, he doesn't have a buff body like you.
Yeah, definitely not. But what it is, the underlying each battle's about a clash of wills. Like, in that fight, for example, it's not about Bakugo and Midoriya versus All Might. It's about Bakugo and Midoriya and their fundamental disagreements, and it's about their past, and both of them coming to realise that they've got to both come more towards the middle, meet each other in the middle more than keep going on their straight and narrow paths that they've been on. And stuff like that. It's about character ideology instead of the actual battles, which makes every battle feel so much more important than it would be if it was just two characters fighting.
Favourite part of that fight is still just like when the fucking Midoriya for the first time just like launches himself at Bakugo and punches him in the face like, you fucking idiot, don't you dare say you'd rather lose, let's go. It's like, damn Midoriya. So many good points about that fight that we could bring up, but...
And it's not just that fight, every fight, especially that tournament arc. Especially that tournament arc. It was Todoroki coming to terms with it, what his power is, and why it's his power, not his dad's power. It's all just so good. Every fight has this underlying, like, deeper meaning to it that just makes everything so much more important than if it was just people fighting.
Yes. So good. I can easily understand why it is in first place for you. Now, moving on to my first place, Kuroko's Basketball, Season 3. Now, despite how many times I have already said I value a good introduction almost over anything else, do you know what I value almost just as equally? It's a damn good ending. And we've had Kuroko's Basketball 3 seasons, 75 episodes of anime. Not only did this anime be consistently good throughout, and I mean literally throughout, from episodes 1 to 75, pretty sure there might have been one bad episode, if that. All of it was good, all the way through. And then it fucking puts the cherry on top of the cake by having what I consider to be the best ending to a show I have ever seen. Like, we've discussed multiple times now how there have been shows that have just shat themselves and dropped the ball at the end, like Blue Exorcist went batshit crazy, Code Geass, it was just like, what the fuck, I can't make a kill, depressing as hell. Kuroko's Basketball, it had such damn feel-good ending.
It achieved what is very rare, and that's like the perfect ending. Nothing ever has a perfect ending. This show does.
This show actually does. Like, if it had ended on the tournament, on the end of the competition where they'd won, I was kind of just like, okay, that was a decent enough ending, kind of saw it coming. But no, they take it one step further. They have like a brief flashback to like all the members of Generation of Miracles meeting up again, all of them getting along, having a casual basketball match, all of them reuniting and all getting along, and it's all so awesome. And then they all turn up for Kuroko's birthday, and just that final scene with them at his birthday, and then like seeing all the characters interact between the Generation of Miracles and Seirin, and it's just a one long pan, and everyone's getting along. It's just like, this is so awesome. I did not think such a good ending could exist, but my god, this show has pulled it off. From episode 1 to episode 75, it's been a fantastic show, and to top it off, they somehow made the ultimate ending. which I don't think I've ever seen any other show do before.
Yeah, I've never seen a show end as well. It gave us what you needed. Not necessarily what you wanted, but it gave you what you needed for each character. You got to see where they went. You got to see where they went kind of afterwards, what's happening to them, and also at the same time, it gave you the closure you needed after all of that intense basketball.
Yeah, like, usually, even if a show has a good ending, I'm not saying other shows don't have good endings. There are many shows that have good endings, but with other shows, I'm kind of curious as to, like, it's like, oh, okay, it's ended there. That was a good ending, but I kind of wish I could see, like, more of their adventures or something like that, or just, like, see what happens afterwards. This show, after watching its ending, I'm like, okay, I'm done with this show. And not in a bad way. I mean, you showed me a bit more of what happened after the competition. This meetup, seeing like all the Generation of Miracles getting along again, kind of fan servicey, but at the same time, I kind of needed that. And it was just a perfect ender. Like, I feel satisfied with Kuroko's basketball. I don't need to see anything else about it. I'm not sat here wondering, like, I wonder what they did afterwards, or I wish I could see another competition or something like that. No, I'm done. And I mean that in the best way possible. No other show has done that to me before.
It's a very rare feeling. To be honest, I don't think I've had the feeling outside of this.
Okay. That, ladies and gentlemen, is our personal top 22 lists of anime for the Anime Review Show Season 1. And it's been a very interesting list. I've thoroughly enjoyed this. But now, we're going to be taking a few minutes break, which will be edited out, for me to quickly calculate the scores, and then I shall present to you the top anime list of the Blood Lemons for the Anime Review Show Season 1 of all time. So bear with me for, like, well, probably 5 seconds from your perspective. Okie dokie. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. I have compiled the list. We have a few ties, and we shall be discussing them as the list goes on. And
so I've ruined a mouse pad, so
this top 22 list has turned into a top 17 due to the number of ties that we have. But when we get a tie, we'll say which one we value over the other. But I doubt we'll go into full discussion as to why we like these anime in the order they're in, because we've already done that. So it'll only be when doing comparisons. So in tied last place at number 17, we have Persona 4 Golden Animation and Elegant Yokai Apartment Life. With 3 points each.
I feel like, to be honest, I should have guessed that one, because we had, like, our opinions are basically inverted.
Yep. They are. So, I mean, can we agree which one would be better than the other? Because for me, it's. Wait, which way around was it for me? Shit, I've forgotten. Yeah, for me it was Persona 4 over Elegant Yokai, and for you it was the other way around.
Yeah, to be honest, I wouldn't much care which one ended up at the bottom of the list.
Oh, Christ. Okay, fair enough. Well, I think we'll just leave that at a tie. I don't think we can really value these over the other. So yeah.
What I will say, Elegant Yokai far more coherent.
Pardon? Hello?
Elegant Yokai, a far more coherent show.
Ah, okay. You cut out in the middle of that, so I was already disconnected.
Oh no, my internet seems to have held up fairly well for now.
Okay, well, let's move on swiftly before it gives out on us. In 16th place, that's with 6 points overall, we have Black Clover. No real surprise there.
No surprise, it's where it belongs. Near the bottom of the list.
In 15th place, with 10 points, we have Tokyo Ghoul.
It's almost like it's my list. So far.
Okay, and here we come to another tie that we probably won't be able to agree on. We have, in 14th place, with 11 points each, we have Fastest Finger First and Samurai Champloo.
I'd say Samurai Champloo. They're like next to each other in my list, but I
would say Fastest Finger First over Samurai Champloo.
I know you have a distinct dislike of Samurai Champloo, so I'll agree. Fastest Finger First, why not?
Hey, okay. Okay, so moving on to 13th place with, funnily enough, 13 points. It's Urumanga Sensei.
Surprisingly enjoyable rom-com towards the end there. It's a shame about all the incest, really.
Oh, dear me. Right, and in 12th place, with 16 points, we have Assassination Classroom Season 2.
Sounds about right.
Actually surprised it wasn't a little bit higher, but obviously just the different points we'd given it. Okay, moving on now to the three-way tie in 11th place. With 21 points each, we have Akame ga Kill, Blue Exorcist Season 1, and Code Geass, Lelouch of the Rebellion.
Well, I'd say I prefer Blue Exorcist over Code Geass and Code Geass over Akame ga Kill. But,
See, I would value Akame ga Kill most definitely over Code Geass. I'm not sure where to put Blue Exorcist in that list. Probably above both of them because its ending was batshit crazy. Funnily enough, all three of these shows that are tied in 11th place are all three of the shows with the shit endings. Yeah, Akame ga Kill with the really depressing one, Blue Exorcist with the really weird one, and Code Geass with the what the fuck one. So for me, it would be Code Geass, Akame ga Kill, and then Blue Exorcist at the top.
I could agree to that, why not?
I find that funny. I only just realised that 11th place is the one with all the shit endings.
Well, collectively, between the two of us, we feel roughly the same on them. Shit endings, get out of here.
Okay, so to the top 10 now. Technically top 11 because there's one more tie. But top 10, in 10th place, we have Attack on Titan Season 2. Not really surprising there.
Yeah, not really.
It's earned its spot in the top 10, despite it being really fucking weird at points.
One of my most disappointing experiences with an anime.
9th place with 24 points, we have Assassination Classroom Season 1.
Deserved spot, deserved.
Then in 8th place, fully enough, because it was ranked 8th place on both our lists with 30 points, it's Little Witch Academia.
Yeah, it's interesting that both our 8th places ended up in the same spot on the overall list.
A nice convergence, to say the least. Now, next up, with 31 points in 7th place, we have Blue Exorcist Season 2.
I'd place it higher personally, but I can't argue with the numbers.
Yep, the numbers disagree, Krishna, I'm afraid.
Damn you, maths!
Now, the final tie of the list, and then we can swiftly proceed on to agree with everything else. With 34 points each, we have Kuroko's Basketball Season 1 and Food Wars Season 1. Now, this is a tricky one, but I think we might be able to agree here. Which one would you value over the other?
I'd put Food Wars, personally.
I will actually...
How my list shook out.
Despite it not being the way my list shook out, I will agree with that. They were both really good introductions, but Food Wars was... I guess it's the humour in Food Wars that does it for me. Like, my god. Just goddamn it, Food Wars.
Funny show.
A damn funny show. Give me un momento. Just quickly doing something else here. Okay. So, yep, that's the final tie of the list. And now I can swiftly proceed on with the rest. So, the top 5, of which are completely agreed, and there's no more ties. So these are the top 5 Blunt Lemon's anime review show, at least. We have, in 5th place, with 36 points, Kuroko's Basketball Season 2.
5th place, yeah. It's exactly the same as on my list.
How's it turning out to be your list so much? Actually, yeah, same on my list, so yeah, that's why. Every time we converge, it ends up in the same spot. My Hero Academia, Season 1, in 4th place, with 37 points.
One of my favourite shows of all time.
Yep.
And it's occupying 2 spots in the top 10. Well, top 10, top 5, so...
Yeah, and funnily enough, in the top 3, in 3rd place, we have My Hero Academia, Season 2, with 38 points. So it's a damn close call. And now, finally, the top 2. I'll stop teasing. In 2nd place, with 41 points, we have Kuroko's Basketball, Season 3. So, funnily enough, despite it not being number 1 on either of our lists, but because it's a joint second, Attack on Titan Season 1 gets first place with 42 points and still remains the Blunt Lemon's favourite anime of all time somehow.
It's that Total War Shogun 2 syndrome. Nowhere, not near not on the top on any list, but just because of its consistent high ranking, manages to claw its way to number 1 on the aggregate.
I can't even be annoyed at that. It definitely deserves it because we both love it for the exact same reasons. It is just a damn good show. It introduced us to anime. It earns its top spot.
It's where it all began. Attack on Titan is the reason this show exists. Attack on Titan Season 2 is what we were aiming for with the anime review show. It's like, oh, that's coming on. Do you want to do an anime show? And sure. Let's do it.
Yep. So, just to reiterate that list again, we'll go over the points, but I'll just say the positions and things, and then we shall wrap up. We have, in 17th place, tied, we have Persona 4, An Elegant Yokai Apartment Life. In 16th place, we have Black Clover. 15th place, Tokyo Ghoul. 14th place, Foster's Finger First, and Samurai Champloo. In 13th place, we have Iromanga Sensei. 12th place, Assassination Classroom Season 2. And tied in the three-way tie for 11th place, we have Akame ga Kill, Blue Exorcist Season 1, and Code Geass, The Lucifer Rebellion. Again, still love the fact that it's all the ones with the shitty endings.
That worked out very nicely. Turns out we have an equal opinion on shitty endings.
Yeah, they're all equally shit. Despite some being better than others. 10th place, Attack on Titan, Season 2. 9th place, Assassination Classroom, Season 1. 8th place, Little Witch Academia, Season 1. 7th place, Blue Exorcist, Season 2. Tied for 6th place, we have Kuroko's Basketball, Season 1, and Food Wars, Season 1. 5th place, Kuroko's Basketball, Season 2. 4th place, My Hero Academia, Season 1. 3rd place, My Hero Academia, Season 2. 2nd place, Kuroko's Basketball, Season 3. And taking the cake, it is Attack on Titan, Season 1, in 1st place. A very good list overall. I was fascinated to see how this turned out. I'm very happy with the result, as per usual.
I enjoy making lists like this.
But right, okay, let us wrap up this, because this has been over 2 hours in terms of recording. It should be under 2 hours once edited, but oh god, this is going to be fun. But yes, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us for the Anime Review Show Season 1. This is truly the end of this season of the show now. There'll probably be like a week or two's break before we resume Season 2. The plan was to resume Season 2 in March, but I didn't realise that Season 1 of the Anime Review Show would finish at the end of February.
Kind of slid rather neatly in there.
Yeah,
we're recording this literally on the last day of February, so...
So yeah, that should be interesting. I'm thinking I'll probably release the finale and 42.5, this one, on either the same day or Saturday and Sunday. So they'll both come out this weekend. So I hope you've enjoyed both of them. Obviously, as per usual, please let us know what you thought of these, well, at least in this case, what you thought of these shows overall, what you thought of our rankings. Tell us your personal rankings as well, if you so wish, by putting down your personal top 10 anime of all time in the list below. And yeah, if you enjoyed, please do like. If you're not subscribed, please do, because, well, again, small community, wanting to grow it, and as well, obviously, anime community, we're very much obviously going to welcome you, and that's not a small community, so get on in here. We want to hear your views about these. Obviously, don't be a dicks, no spoilers.
I'd also well, I say no, yeah. I'd also like suggestions for shows that we might want to watch in the future if anyone's made it this far.
We are trying to broaden our horizons, so yeah, feel free to suggest shows as well. Season 2, we're also going to start watching occasionally an anime movie, so that'll be a thing as well. So feel free to suggest anime movies as well. Is there anything else to say? Anything you want to add before we wrap up Season 1?
No, not particularly. It's just one of my favourite shows to do.
Yes, this has been a very fun experience, and I'm glad we're doing it, and we're going to keep on doing it, don't worry. So yeah, we'll have a week or two break. This will be decided off screen, so we might let you know of a channel update, but otherwise, yeah, please do like, comment, subscribe, and we shall see you in the Anime Review Show Season 2. Mata, Raishu.
Sayonara! Tamagotchi? Tamadochi. Tama something. Tomodachi. It wasn't Tama at all. Anyway.
I was really hoping you'd get it right at the end. Learn it for season 2.
I have Japanese homework to do now.
It's alright, I have a listening test next week. And cut.